This is the Tech Support Guy Show, episode 39 for November 14th, 2010. Boobs on commercials. Welcome to the Tech Support Guy Show. I'm Mike Cermak, known on the site as Tech Guy. And with me, as always, is Brian Hansen.
Booga, booga, booga.
Oh, darn it, I hit the wrong button. Hang on, let me take. There. Now booga, booga.
Booga, booga, booga.
Oh, darn it. That was my bad. All right, and Danny, who I don't think we have video for today.
We do not have video for, but good morning.
Good morning. We probably didn't want to see you anyway.
Definitely not.
So how are you guys doing today?
Super.
Super?
Neato, nifty, keen.
Right on. Well, our next show, just so everyone can put it on their calendar, looks like it's going to be Sunday, December 12th at 10 a.m. So write that on your calendar so you can join us live, techguy.tv. You can get all the information there and also download past episodes. But let's jump right into the news. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little side trip here. I didn't warn the guys I was going to do this, but I wanted to give a heads up to the users of TSG who might listen to this and haven't caught it yet. We recently just put up a memorial, for lack of a better word, on the site. We have a bunch of, Tech Support Guy is really a community. We've had a lot of good friends come and go, and a couple of them have left over the last year or two. So we actually decided, the moderators and I decided to start a memorial thread where we're listing all of those who have passed on and have links to their profiles and the announcement and so on. So for those who haven't caught it yet, check that out. If I can, I was going to try and put it up on the screen here just to share it, but maybe I'm not going to be smart enough to do it. Well, there we go. There it is. So anyhow, it's on the site. If you go to techguy.org and go into the forums and go to announcements, you'll be able to get into it and see that. It's going to be one of the first links near the top. So anyhow, something cool to check out if you're a member of the site. So moving right along. Let's jump into some tech news to cheer us up a little bit after that. Let's jump into one of the first stories I had to look at that caught my eye was this lawsuit. I don't know if you guys have read much about this yet, but there's a lawsuit against Seagate and Western Digital. And what it claims is that apparently there's I guess it's a development of some sort of I don't know, some sort of item on it that's supposed to minimize the interference of the magnetic medium, which apparently becomes more and more important as the storage capacity of the drive increases. So this guy patented this technology, and apparently it's being used by Seagate and Western Digital, and they claim, or he claims, that it was without his permission and so forth. It's kind of an interesting story because the guy tried to go after Seagate and Western Digital himself, but didn't have the funds to do so. So he sold the patent to a company that apparently what they do is, go after patent claims.
Yeah, they're an intellectual property management firm.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that to begin with, but whatever. I guess you need a big company to go after a big company these days.
Yep.
How much did he get when he sold those patents? Just curious.
That's a very good question. I haven't seen that. I'm not sure that that's public information.
Interesting.
But anyhow, so the claim is, and it's just a couple of the hard drives. For Seagate, it's the Free Agent, Replica, Black Armor, Expansion, Barracuda, Momentous, Savio, Cheetah, Constellation, Pipeline, DB35, and SV35 drives. So, just, a couple of them. Western Digital is My Books, Elements, ShareSpace, My Passport, RE3, Caviar, and Scorpio. So most of the drives made in the last 5 years.
Well, and these patents were issued in 1999 and 2001. So, only in the last 10 years have they become relevant anyway.
I thought it was interesting that they filed the suit in Wisconsin's Western District.
Yeah, I was just reading that. And I'm quoting from the eWeek article. According to the complaints, the Wisconsin court is appropriate because the companies engage in, quote, continuous and systematic business, end quote, by selling the drives in the area. They do that everywhere.
I know, right? It's totally because that court must be favorable in the past to, this kind of a patent. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, here in this article, this is Ars Technica, it says that they say that apparently originally Ars Technica reported that they did it because Seagate had a facility in Wisconsin, but that's not true. So they sent along a statement about why they seek to litigate there, quote, because the court is very experienced and sophisticated with patent litigation matters, and it manages cases efficiently and effectively so that justice is not delayed. It is also a venue which is appropriately convenient given all of the facts regarding parties and witnesses.
Interesting.
I'm thinking the first part of that paragraph might be more important than the last, but
the Rembrandt IP management company is in PA, in Bala-Cynwyd, or however the hell you're supposed to say
where's that?
It appears to be on the Schuylkill River on the one, so it's right outside of Conshohocken or Philly or something.
Proud Pennsylvanians, huh?
Amen. Interesting.
Hey, who knows? They might have a legitimate complaint. We don't know.
Well, so this feels, I don't know, I don't have any love for lawyers for the most part. Anyway, on the one hand, the Jacksonian in me says, well, it's good that this guy has the ability to sell to a Rembrandt IP management company who has the time and money to go pursue things on his behalf. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I hate that there's business for this Rembrandt IP management company to go after. They're clearly just a middleman between the tiny guy and the really big guy.
Well, and there's so many of these companies that all they do is go up and buy up patents for the purpose of litigating. I mean, that is their business.
Litigation as a business model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's notable that SEO tried to do a similar thing, make litigation their business model. SEO was what appeared to be an owner of Linux, or Unix rather, I'm sorry. And they sued IBM, they sued Red Hat, and they sued Novell, and they lost their butt on it.
Huh.
And the Linux community cheered.
And they did. But
so we shall see. Maybe, we won't have any new hard drives coming out for a while.
You know what? It'll just, with regards to this specific patent, if they were to win, and it would be catastrophic for magnetic media or the magnetic spindles, it would just usher in more quickly solid state.
Right, that's true. If it was even that dramatic. I mean, a lot of Western Digital drives aren't even on this list, so I suspect they must have some other method of resolving whatever this particular technology is supposed to do. Maybe not as efficiently. Maybe it costs 5 cents a drive more. Who knows? I bet they'll be able to figure out some way. I'm not losing any sleep over that.
The article I read on eWeek said that the manufacturers themselves have faced lawsuits like this in the past, and they've not been any kind of disruptive.
Right. Well, so moving right along, the next one that caught my eye is AT&T is preparing for the end of iPhone exclusivity.
How so? Like, what are they doing?
Well,
getting other exclusivity contracts.
Well, not fast enough, I'd say. I don't know if they're getting any other exclusivities per se, actually. But they're pushing other phones much harder. And I guess that they've been advertising the BlackBerry Torch real hard, and they're getting some Android phones in there finally, and they launched their first, or maybe the first, Windows 7 phone. And so they're working hard to try and have some other devices available, because the rumor is first quarter 2011, Verizon's going to get an iPhone.
Yeah, they will.
And Brian is ready for it.
Amen.
So the fear is apparently that AT&T may lose a couple of customers when people can get an iPhone on another network. And of course, it was pointed out in many articles by many people that it's been a huge increase for AT&T, not so much for holding subscribers, but getting in new subscribers. Because for years now, if you wanted an iPhone, you went to AT&T.
Well, they actually just set a record. AT&T set a record for the lowest total churn or like lowest customer attrition in the third quarter of 2010.
Wouldn't it be interesting, and I know it's not going to be 80% or anything, but wouldn't it be interesting to know what percent of their devices are iPhones?
Please hold. According to AT&T, more than 8 million smartphones were activated during the third quarter, and the iPhone probably accounted for around 65% of its total smartphone activations. Wow. This is according to The Atlantic.
Yeah, is that fair? Because when was the iPhone 4 released? Was that third quarter?
iPhone 4 was that was in Q this year, right?
Yeah, it was definitely this year.
Yeah, it was March this year.
So it was second quarter. Okay, I just didn't want to use the quarter that the iPhone 4 was first released because you're of course going to see a surge on release quarter.
Right. Interesting.
Huh. Yeah.
Apparently, it was released in June, just of this year.
June. So again, yeah, third quarter.
Well,
no, that's cute, buddy. That's cute. Well, but you're right. Most of the activations happened in Q3.
Exactly.
Barely.
Exactly.
But yeah,
because you're going to be waiting for it.
Right. Interesting.
Meh. But that's any iPhone device. I suspect that most of the iPhones that are out there are not the iPhone 4s, but the ones that have been out since before that. Not everyone who had an iPhone 3 upgraded.
You're recording from, correct? New activations.
Uh-oh. Did we freeze?
No,
Did I
we
lose you?
There's a little bit. Sounds like we're back.
Okay. Say it again, Danny? Oh, maybe we lost Danny.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. So I upgraded the version of Skype on this computer.
Yeah.
And it says the call was lost. Please wait while we try to reestablish it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that before. I'm pretty sure that's new. It's just automatically trying to reconnect with him. And I'm sure on his side it just probably shows like a normal phone call or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Anyhow. So let's move right along just in case his dribble doesn't start back up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's pretty substantial. 64%, is that what you said, of their smartphone market?
65% of its new activations in the third quarter. So out of the 8 million, 5.2 million were iPhone folks. Likely none of which would stick around once the they wouldn't have signed up with AT&T if the iPhone were available anywhere else, right?
Maybe, not all of them. Some of them may have gone to AT&T anyway.
Maybe. I wonder how many.
There are people who use AT&T not for an iPhone, right?
I don't know any of them.
Yes, you do. You're speaking with one right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. What do you have again?
I have a backflip, a Motorola backflip.
Motorola backflip.
That I am dying to get rid of.
That's what I thought. Where are you going next? You going to Windows?
No, I thought about checking out the Windows Phone 7 because I love Windows 7, and I just want to see if Microsoft has surpassed the Me Too and actually gotten to something that's innovative again. Because they did that with Windows 7, they really did.
I need to get my hands on one of those. On the iPhone, on the Windows 7 phone. I haven't gotten to play with. We looked at them a little bit at CES of the initial models, but it was really just a front end, and that bothered me. I hope that that's not the case.
Yeah.
I need to play with one sometime. And the other thing interesting about Verizon getting the iPhone, which is going to be super exciting for those Palm users, both of us, is that Verizon's also getting the Palm Pre 2 any day now.
They made a Pre 2?
Yes. Well, it's HP Palm now, of course.
Right, of course.
But yeah, it's supposed to be. In fact, the rumors I heard was it was supposed to come out. Is it tomorrow? Like very, very soon. And within a week. That's rumors. I don't think there's any official announcement yet, so we shall see. But anyhow, kind of exciting for both of us. So, any other thoughts on the iPhone, or are we moving along?
Yeah.
Brian, are you going to switch to Verizon as soon as it becomes available over there? I guess you got to wait for your contract to end anyway.
Yeah, I gotta wait for my contract, and then I gotta make sure my company is now paying for my phone, so I gotta make sure my company's all right with that switch. But um, in the world of corporate America, apparently everybody is assigned to get discounts slash kickbacks through every other company. So we have a discount with AT&T, discount with Verizon, discount with Sprint. So literally, when they told me they were going to pay for my phone, they said, "Pick any phone you want, you can have it." So that's kind of cool.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't know. It still means I got to have somebody else do the switching for me.
So you have to pray to the corporate gods to...
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But I will probably go to Verizon. It depends. I'm actually kind of waiting out the iPad thing. I'm hoping that there's a new iPad coming soon so that I can get one. But it's all conjecture at this point. I haven't even seen any real articles suggesting that there's a new version of the iPad coming out anytime soon. But
no, I haven't heard that either.
I would want the two of them to be on the same network.
Why is that?
Well, assuming that it's a network that works well, I just don't want to have two separate.
You just don't want one on AT&T is what it is.
That's true. I don't. Definitely don't. And right now, like, they started advertising the Verizon version of the iPad, and even the commercial that they have for that shows somebody pulling a little Verizon hotspot out of their pocket, turning that on, putting that back in their pocket, and then turning on their iPad.
That's right. I have a friend who works at Verizon, and I was asking him about that. And that is the case. It doesn't have a connectivity into the Verizon network. It's just Wi-Fi.
Right, because it doesn't have the CDMA chip or whatever.
Exactly, right. Radio.
Verizon is also allowing for shared data plans. So if you've got a shared data plan, your devices can, of course, access that same plan without having different contracts or two contracts with the phone company.
Right.
On two different devices.
Which is pretty great.
Definitely, yeah.
Pretty great. So.
Cool. Well, we shall see. What else is going on?
Well, the kind of the big news this week from an online retailer perspective, Amazon.com got in some, they drew a lot of ire from the public for linking to and making available an ebook called The Pedophile's Guide to Love and Pleasure, A Child Lover's Code of Conduct. And I think this book was made available on Monday or maybe Tuesday. And, immediately Amazon.com got a bunch of flames from the public saying, "I can't believe that you would sell something like this, and we're going to boycott," and yada, yada, yada. They even started, of course, everybody starts a freaking Facebook campaign these days. As soon as they decide, I want to do flavor of popcorn, I'm going to start a Facebook campaign about it. So they started a Facebook campaign to boycott Amazon until they took this down. And in the early part of the week, Amazon was kind of defending the ability they defended the sale of the book. Their public statement saying Amazon believes it is censorship not to sell certain books simply because we or others believe their message is objectionable. Amazon does not support or promote hatred or criminal acts. However, we do support the right of every individual to make their own purchasing decisions. Basically saying, you know what, we're just a store. And if you don't like something we have in the store, you don't have to buy it.
That's true.
Which I kind of get. However, as of Thursday, the ebook is no longer available on the Amazon.com storefront. But according to MSNBC, it's not actually clear if the ebook was removed from the Kindle store by Amazon or by the self-publisher / author Philip Greaves II.
My guess would be that it was removed by Amazon because it doesn't make financial sense for them to leave it on and offend the majority of their customers. Because even those customers who believe in free speech, who truly deep down believe in free speech, find the material offensive, and will go to another bookstore, if you will, that doesn't supply such offensive material.
If they truly believe in free speech, I don't think they're going to go to a different bookstore over it.
Speaking as somebody who truly believes in free speech, I'm actually disappointed and now kind of upset at Amazon.
Me too, actually. I was a little hesitant to take the position, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with the free speech approach too, but it makes corporate sense to me because they're going to lose. They're going to lose more customers by leaving it on there than they are going to sell to pedophiles or people interested in reading about.
There's no doubt about that. Well, and I heard on one program that was discussing this, they were saying that, they should do something like that just as a scam to try and, track which people buy the book. And I was like, that's pretty stupid. I was like, I'll bet you most of the people who bought it are not pedophiles, but just wondering if it really is what it sounds like it is.
Right. It was only $4 or whatever.
$4.79, I think. I'll have to check my credit card receipt. I don't know. Well, and if you Google the title of it, the first link is to Amazon. And if you click on that, you get a 404 message, though.
Yeah. So a couple things. I get that it doesn't make business sense for them to keep it up. However, there isn't much in our, Constitution, Bill of Rights about business sense. The Constitution doesn't only apply when it makes good financial results possible, right? So from a Bill of Rights, freedom of speech standpoint, use through which to publish.
I lost you for a second.
Oh, okay. Should I rewind?
Well, from a Bill of Rights perspective, you're saying that they have every legal right to sell whatever they want.
Amazon has every legal right to sell whatever they want, and this author has every legal right to self-publish whatever he or she, well, he in this case, wants to publish or wants to say. However, you're getting into the question of what responsibility do those avenues of publication have for the material they're publishing? So there's a bit of a social responsibility element to it that's beyond free speech, and I get that part. I get that, it's probably the socially responsible thing to not proliferate materials like this.
But who's going to make the judgment call on each book as to who should be allowed to buy which books?
But look at the Apple Store, right?
I don't know if I want to live in a world where it's run like the Apple Store, though. That's a little bit
absolutely not.
No,
well, but this country has been run like the Apple Store. Larry Flynn, Allen Ginsberg, William Burroughs, they all had to fight hard to not have their quote unquote pornography censored by the United States government and mass media.
Right, and so they found a way to distribute their materials outside of other channels. They kind of created their own channels, right?
Yep.
So, there's Amazon.com is not the only place that people can publish an ebook.
That's true. I think it's a little bit of a slippery slope for Amazon, which is probably why they hesitated to do it to begin with, because then you get a large group of people who are unhappy because they sell, a book about Islam or a book about, anything that is potentially offensive to a group of people. And, I don't think that they want to be in a position where they run it like an Apple Store and decide what is and what isn't okay.
Right. I would hate to be that guy, but everything we watch, everything we read has gone through some sort of decency filter.
I don't know about everything we read, or even everything we watch. If it's on public airwaves, certainly, but...
Well, but so if you still believe in the internet as public, and even though they're not airwaves necessarily...
Are you saying everything on the internet has gone through a decency scanner? Because I think that's not true.
No, but I'm saying that it's the one place on the public airwaves that actually doesn't go through a filter. So
I figured I was misunderstanding you.
Eventually, there's probably going to be that filter implemented by some federal body. And I don't want to live in that kind of world either. I don't actually like living in a world where they can't show boobs on commercials. And all I have to do is freaking move to Europe.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's okay to watch boobs on commercials. But I'm not going to move to Europe just to get boobs on commercials.
Not when the internet's still free.
Wait, I want to say boobs on commercials one more time.
I think we might have the title to this podcast.
Yes.
The most downloaded podcast. The people watching this are going to be so disappointed. We need to like Rickroll or something in the middle of it. It'd be like Bare Naked Ladies, when they first came out. You're like, this isn't Bare Naked Ladies at all. Anyhow. I thought it was interesting that Amazon also is currently taking pre-orders for a hardcover version of the book How to Smuggle Cocaine by the Ton in 5 Easy Lessons. But you never know with these book titles how,
right,
how true they are, or in the case of our title of the show today, how they're really making fun at something or making light of something.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to read too much into that. And that's why I wondered when I first saw the title, the Pedophile's Guide to Love and Pleasure and whatever. I mean, for all I know, it could have been a book about how to stop being a pedophile, like a 10 quick steps or whatever.
Well, that's an interesting point, Mike, because if you talk to this author, which the several channels in the media did, his actual reason for publishing a book like this was because he's like, the media depicts pedophiles as creeps, as losers, as, homeless, crazy whack jobs, right? But from his standpoint, it's a disease, and it's something that can be rehabilitated, or if you suffer from this disease, there are ways to control what essentially amount to symptoms of your disease. And if you read my book, there's a way for us to control, how you deal with your disease, basically. And from that standpoint, I kind of, I applaud the guy for having the sack to publish something like that. And I do think there's a lot of social stigmas like pedophilia that kind of get ignored, and kind of everybody just buys into the same thing. Like, yeah, that's completely and totally wrong. And it's so wrong, I don't even want to talk about it. And this guy is essentially kind of forcing the conversation. It'll be interesting to see what happens from here on. But the book is not about here's how to be a successful pedophile, or here are the top 10 tricks as a pedophile.
It's a self-help book.
Yeah.
I guess I'd need to know more about it to really have a further opinion. I mean, it says that there were no images in it. There was nothing obscene in it. But I've also read here that it offers readers advice on how to avoid getting in trouble with the law. Exactly by what means it does that is questionable. If it's saying, well, don't do anything illegal to not get in trouble, then that's all right. But
that's the story I read, was that it says don't do anything illegal, and here are all the things that are illegal.
Right.
I don't know. Interesting. Very, very.
From that perspective, it's no different to me than a self-help book on a cocaine addict, on how to live with your cocaine addiction and not partake.
And here's one for you guys. Well, and maybe that was the main purpose there, Dan. That's a very good point. That's what I thought of immediately when I saw the title. But I'm reading the Wikipedia article about this book, which is already marked for deletion. And it says, people for the ethical treatment of animals, citing the removal of the Pedophile's Guide from Amazon, urged the website to also remove books on dogfighting. And that's exactly what we were saying. I mean, that's
a slippery slope. Yeah.
Yep. Very slippery slope. I hadn't even considered that angle of it, but I mean, that's exactly it.
No. Yeah, there is no universal, and I get that pedophilia should probably rank on that list if there was a list, but there is no universal list of things that are offensive.
I don't want to rely on the greater public as my moral compass. I have my own moral compass. And
Right.
I don't need anyone to tell me what's good or bad. I know within my own being what is good or bad.
And there are plenty of countries run in such a way where someone decides that for you. And I think one of the things that makes America America is that we do have those freedoms. But again, I don't think that this is a legal thing. It's not like the government came in and forced them to take it down.
Right, and that's my point. I don't want anybody telling me, any group of people telling me what my morals should be. And this is their first, Amazon removing that is in fact forcing, at least within their own store, their morals or their.
Well, that's true, but you can't blame a particular store for choosing what items they're going to carry.
I'll go shop somewhere else.
Well, that's your right to do so, and Brian brought it up first, and I agree with that. That kind of makes me look at Amazon in a worse light. The fact that they did back down on this.
Right. Well, but so here's where I stop short of that is because Amazon.com is not a public entity. So, it's not, it has no responsibility to me as an American or as a consumer to offer everything that anybody decides to publish. It has no responsibility to me not to censor material that it finds offensive. I don't hold Amazon.com to that standard. However, if this guy put it up on his own website and self-published that way, and anybody came to him and forced him to take it down, that's where it becomes infringement on that person's constitutional rights. But Amazon.com absolutely has the right and responsibility to monitor, choose what it sells and what it does not sell. It's a commercial interaction, a commercial transaction. It is not a legal thing.
I'm reading here not completely off topic, somewhat off topic, that in 1990, Greaves, this author, at the age of 27, announced his intention to run for president of the United States in 2000. Now,
clearly a well-balanced individual.
A couple of problems with that sentence. First of all, this guy running for president is kind of funny. Second of all, in 1990, at the age of 27, he announced that he was going to run into... Well, no, I guess that does work, doesn't it? I was trying to figure out the math because what's the requirement for age for president of the United States? Is it 35? Okay, so that would have been right. Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that wouldn't bring him up to the required age, but it did. I guess that campaign didn't go so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as it stands, Amazon.com is a private company and has the right to sell whatever it wants as long as it's legal. And
it makes business sense to not sell it. I completely understand that.
That's true.
Right.
That is funny, though, about the PETA people, though.
Yeah.
Just walked right into my example. All right. Moving along. What do we want to talk about next?
People eating tasty animals.
No. How about Facebook? So there's a couple of stories about Facebook recently. First of all, those who use Foursquare, which I frequently call Fourspace, Foursquare, I had to think for a minute to see if I was saying it properly. They're doing a location-based thing similar to what Foursquare does, and there's people saying that Facebook is going to take out Foursquare as a result. We shall see. The big news, though, is that everyone expects an announcement tomorrow, probably by the time you listen to this podcast, that Facebook is going to have an email service similar to that of Gmail.
Nah.
I'm so excited. I'm going to be there as soon as they open it up, and I'm totally going to go get big penis at facebook.com. I love being that guy who gets the first email address labeled big penis at a domain name.
How many of those do you have?
9. One for every inch.
Sorry. I get jokes.
Too far.
You had the one at Amazon, but then they censored it.
No, they just put an exclamation point in where the I was.
Oh, to get around
Yeah.
the censor filter? That's what this guy had to do. He
It
should.
just makes it harder to type, especially the only one.
Oh, come on now. Oh, man. So, do we care about this? Do we need another email client? Because I know there's not enough out there with Yahoo Mail and Hotmail and MSN and Google and where else can you get free email addresses? I mean, spammers don't have enough places to go now to generate free email addresses, so we definitely need another one.
They're talking about integration into productivity, the Microsoft Office productivity suite with this, to the point you'll be able to share and collaborate within your Facebook community. So that's kind of cool. However, I can't see any corporation right now allowing for the use of Facebook at facebook.com for anything, even the sharing of.
Some very forward-looking corporations encourage Facebook use for the proper purposes. I mean, they know that they can reach their consumers and their people through Facebook.
Sure, those that have consumer-based products.
Well, I mean, everybody,
consumer-based
but everybody has customers. I mean, even if you're selling from one corporation to another, you still want to communicate with whoever your buyers and what you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do, but I just don't see Facebook as the as a business venue.
The real question here is, is Facebook has taken the next big leap here, going from just social network to email client. That's got to make Google sit up a little bit and look around. I mean, Google was trying to go against Facebook a little bit with their, Buzz and what was their other silly things that they were trying? Wave, right. They were trying to do the social networking thing a little bit.
So here are a couple of quick things, right? You can already send messages to people on Facebook, but you have to be somehow connected to them, right? And somebody has to go check their Facebook inbox, or they have to get an email sent to them by Facebook to a different email account in order to know that somebody's posted a message or whatever.
Right.
So this is kind of, I'm imagining now that the idea of Facebook messages will go away, which helps Facebook save some money on that side. Second, think about it from the amount of data Facebook already has on you and can sell you crap is, I would actually guess that it surpasses Google, especially if you've turned off Google's ability to save your search history.
Right.
And now this has just, it really does make Facebook.com the only website you really need now.
That's what they're going for. So are they going to do their own Facebook search engine now?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what powers their search engine already.
Well, I mean, they don't have a web search engine. They have a search, the social network search engine.
Okay.
But is that going to be their next big thing? I mean, are they really going to go against Google? Or are they going to, team up with MSN and Bing and, have the Facebook Bing search engine? That would actually bring Bing alive a little bit.
It could be. I've also heard rumors that Apple might be using its $50 billion in surplus cash to go acquire Facebook.
Yeah, right. I don't think Mark's going to sell. I remember years ago there were, AOL. Who else? There were a bunch of people coming at him trying to buy it, and everyone thought he was nuts for turning it down. And then look, I mean, it was just, and that's when Facebook was still relatively big, but it was before he had the structure behind it to be able to do all of these add-in programs and have all of the direct sell ads. And I mean, he knew what he was doing. He had.
It has become a business, and to Dan's comment, I don't know if I see Facebook as a place to conduct business. I was at Target last night. You can actually buy gift cards, pre-stored value cards for Facebook.
I saw that,
and I showed it to my wife. I'm like, "What the hell do you use this for?"
Facebook Marketplace.
Is it?
That's but I've never seen it, heard of it, looked at it. I have no idea what you use that for. But it's the same kind of walled garden commerce, right? Like as the Apple Store.
Right.
Go spend it, and you can only spend it here.
Right.
It's interesting. But yeah, I'm totally going to sign up for bigpenis.com or bigpenis at facebook.com by tomorrow. Can't wait.
I'll be sending your emails to there.
All right. Let her rip.
All right. So the only other thing I had on my list here, I forget which one of you guys suggested it, is talking about the MS Connect. Is that what it's called?
Yes. So it's the Xbox 360 Connect, or Connect for Xbox 360. And it was formerly titled Project Natal. Microsoft had been working on this for years. In fact, we saw it at CES this January. And during the CES demo, they were demonstrating a thing, what was it, kickball?
It was nothing. We talked about it a little bit at the time, I think, but it was really pretty lame.
Yeah, I remember it didn't work or something, right?
It kind of sort of worked. It was pretty unimpressive.
Yeah.
So the Kinect is a webcam and microphone-based input device for the Xbox 360. It's somewhat similar to the Wii's controllers, except that you don't actually have to have a controller on you, as I understand it, to use the Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you don't need hands at all.
Exactly. So you can interact with your Xbox using voice and motion controls by just moving around. So a friend of mine has actually purchased one, and he turned music up very loud, and then he gave the Xbox Kinect commands, and it heard his voice and executed those commands. Now, one of the things that was very interesting with it, he has a 360 Live account, right?
Right.
It recorded him and made a movie of it. And it was on his Live account, and he didn't know that it was doing that. So he sent me the movie, and let me tell you, that's just pure comedy. because he's a gamer, and he's not in the best shape, but he's not out of shape either.
Right.
But he looked like he looked physically challenged playing this game. So anyway, my big story behind it is that Microsoft took steps to make it hard for this device to be hacked, so that you couldn't use it for anything other than the Xbox 360. And before the Kinect was released, what was it, Adafruit?
Yeah.
ADA Fruits.
Yep.
They put out a $3,000 bounty. Actually, it wasn't $3,000 at the time, but they put out a bounty for anyone who could create an open source driver for it. Microsoft came back and publicly and said, we discourage this, and we're working with lawmakers and blah blah blah, so that we can, own your device that you buy from us. So they increased the bounty to $3,000, and the first day that the Kinect was commercially available, it was hacked with an open source driver.
Oops.
Yeah. Now Google is also offering or not Google, there is a Google engineer who is offering two $1,000 bounties, one for the coolest app, and the second one for the making it easy to interface with the Kinect. So a library of tools to connect with the Kinect.
I wonder exactly what you would do with it being open source, but I guess
robotics is what most people are looking at. So
well, I've got to think that there's a lot more to it than just a driver, though, because really the thing is just a microphone and two cameras, right?
It's got a depth perception on it as well. So yes, it is. Is it two cameras or is it three?
At least two. I was looking at the picture. It looked like two to me. Well, maybe that. I don't know if that third blotch is a camera or a microphone, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's interesting. So my concern about it when we first saw it at CES was if you could have more than one person using it because of that depth perception, and it has to watch and monitor them.
Right.
From the demos I'm seeing, they're showing two people. I haven't seen any demo with more than two people, but still.
So to find it, I only see the ability to do two, which is a disappointment. But as I was reading, I also found out it's got facial recognition software. so that the camera doesn't get distracted or waylaid by somebody else, unless you have a twin brother that's sitting behind you on the couch. It doesn't get waylaid by other people walking in front of the sensor or anything, which is, to me, a significant surprise.
What's interesting here, I'm looking at an image. I don't know if I'll be able to share this real easy. Oh, yeah, there we go. I can bring that up. That is a screenshot from a Microsoft Xbox Live event talking about it. And what's interesting here is it's showing... Oops, I didn't want to bring up Brian. I want to bring up this. There we go. It's marking the different items on this thing. It shows that it has a motorized tilt at the bottom. So I guess as you're moving closer or further away, it can try and adjust to, aim at you or whatever part of you it needs to see. Multi-array mic, which is basically the whole bottom of the unit. And it shows one RGB camera, the middle camera of the three. And then on either side, it says 3D depth sensor.
Interesting.
So it looks like there's two 3D depth sensors, and in the middle is the RGB camera, and the three of those are off to kind of the left as you look at the unit. It's not really centered on the unit from the look of it, but it's very interesting. And I don't know what a 3D depth sensor is or exactly how it works.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you either.
Yeah.
I mean, other than cameras looking at you at different angles, but
well, I mean, it's what your eyes do, right? Your left eye and your right eye, they merge information together in your visual cortex, and they create a 3D image.
The depth sensor consists of an infrared laser projector combined with a monochrome CMOS sensor that allows the Kinect sensor to see a 3D array under any ambient light condition.
Yep.
The sensing range of the depth sensor is adjustable, with the Kinect software capable of automatically calibrating the sensor based on gameplay and the player's physical environment, such as the presence of furniture. Wow. This is some high-tech gaming.
Yeah.
It is.
You
It is virtual reality meets reality. You can now, I mean, imagine how immersed you could become in a game now.
All we need now is for them to be able to develop the 3D... come on, Brian, what's it called? The...
Virtual Girl?
Holograms?
Yes, holograms is what I was going for, not so much Virtual Girl. But if you have a hologram, inevitably it would quickly become used for that.
Right.
And then if you could combine Project Natal with... Kinect, excuse me, with Brian's email address, I mean, we got a whole new...
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. We're probably only a week away from somebody developing a porn app for...
That's what they're going to do with the open source driver. Now we've figured it out.
That's why that Google guy is offering big money for...
And this goes all the way back to the censorship in the walled garden, because Microsoft would never allow that kind of application to be developed. But now that we're going to have open source drivers, that's what's going to come of it.
That's going to happen.
Anyhow.
Well, so what do you guys think? Oh, shoot, it's already 11. I kind of get going. But what do you guys... Like, is this a really big advancement over, like, the Wii? I feel like it is. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Because you don't have to have anything in your hands. You are interacting. You are the game controller.
But half the fun of using the Wii is seeing whether or not you're going to break something with swinging that remote around.
All right, so I don't have a Wii. I do have an Xbox 360. I've never once played the Xbox 360. But I want to go out and get a Kinect so that I can become the controller for no other reason than to do that.
Wow. You've never used Xbox 360?
Not once.
Wow.
Not once. Actually, let me rephrase that. I used it as a DVD player once.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to get a Kinect. Like, I'm trying to find reasons. Well, we can get it for the boys for Christmas. Right. Justify it for other than me wanting to play with a new device.
Right.
So I'm going to go get a Kinect. I'll see you guys later.
Is it out now? Yeah, I guess it is. You said your friend has it.
Yep. Yeah, he got it. He said he wanted to get it because he wanted to do some Netflix browsing Minority Report style.
That's awesome.
So he did some research, and of course, it's the dashboard that it integrates with on the 360 is different than the primary dashboard. So you can't just wave your arm through your normal dashboard like your Netflix queue. So there are limited applications for it right now.
Right.
But I'm guessing that Microsoft wanted to get this out for the Christmas season, and they expect to have some games and applications more readily available by Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm watching videos online of people playing with the Kinect, and it's kind of humorous to watch. So, anyhow, okay, great. So that's, if nothing else, it'll generate all kinds of new YouTube videos of people, hurting themselves and.
Right. And then in like 2 weeks, there will be, the hottest girls using Microsoft Connect.
Remember when the Wii Fit first came out, and there was the Wii Fit underwear girl?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I heard.
Have that bookmark.
Looking it up right now. We fit underwear.
All right, guys. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this before we go any further with any of the topics combining in a scary way. It's my right to censor it. Walled garden. If you want that kind of stuff, you go to a different podcast.
You know which one? Because I would like to know.
You'll have to use the Facebook Bing search engine to find out.
Bing.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. So, find out more about Tech Support Guy. Go to techguy.org. You can get questions or answers to questions about tech support and stuff like that. That was the worst, lamest ad ever. So, go to the site, whatever. And so, guys, if they want to find out more about you, how do they do that? Make sure it's a really lame ad, though, just like what I did.
Handy9 on Tech Guy, that website that doesn't matter if you go to or if you're still into Twitter. I haven't Twittered in like a year, so you can find me there.
I think it's called tweet. I don't think it's called Twittered. I think you need to get the verbs
tweeted.
Shut up. I'm Handy9 on Twitter, I think. And you can find me at www.brianmichaelhansen.com.
Your bottom third says that you're Brian M. Hansen on Twitter, by the way. So.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Can you do the thing where you point down at the bottom third? That would be great right now.
Right here?
No, it's up a little further. Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good. I like that a lot. Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Danny, where can people find out more about you?
LinuxFile.org, WindowsFile.org, and I am LinuxFile on the forums.
So, yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty mundane. That wasn't bad.
Thanks. I try. I really do.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Again, our next show is Sunday, December 12th at 10 a.m. I suspect we will be talking about which gadgets we are excited to get for Christmas, and I am sure Dan will be telling us about the gadget he's already gotten.
For the boys.
For the boys.
Absolutely, for the boys.
And I'm sure that he'll have to be trying it out before Christmas to make sure it works. So I'll
post a video of it.
Yeah, do that. Post a video of it, and I'll play it during the podcast.
There we go.
All right, something for everyone to look forward to. There's our cliffhanger. Will Dan make a fool of himself? Find out next time.
Stay tuned.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks a lot.